Hi again. This is lecture 3. As you can see, it is also entitled Character Analysis, and we are going to continue analyzing and talking about some other characters in She Stoops to Conquer, a play which was written by Oliver Goldsmith. And this is Mushtaq Abdul Halim Muhammad from Al Iraqiyya University, College of Arts, Department of English. Well, George Hastings, the first character here in this lecture, he is a fashionable, well-educated, and good-natured man. He likes fashion, he has a good education, and good nature, specifically in dealing with others. He is Marlowe's best friend and Constance's suitor. He wants to get married to Constance. He asks her to be engaged. Unlike Marlowe, he is free in social situations. So he isn't shy, just like Marlowe. And he doesn't take fashion too seriously, as if that he is a humble one. He hopes to encourage Marlowe to gain confidence. So he encourages Marlowe to be confident so that he can build a real relationship with the women he respects. So this is Hastings' concept. What does that mean? He likes to be so confident in order to be in a good relationship with any women. Okay, Hastings is a very romantic guy who is willing to give up Constance's fortune to marry her immediately. Give up, let it go, leave. So he doesn't care about Constance's fortune. However, he cares for her to get married at once, immediately. He is so desperate to elope with Constance. You know, desperate? He loses hope to elope, to run away with Constance, while he has the chance. Again, he enlists Tony's help in deceiving Mrs. Hardcastle. He counts on Tony's help. So he asks Tony to help him deceiving Mrs. Hardcastle. Hastings' name is suggestive of his character, as if Hastings' name referred to his own character, because he was in a hurry to what? To marry Constance. So he wants to marry Constance with haste, being in a hurry. He refuses to wait, even if it means that Constance loses her fortune. Let's move to another character, Mr. Hardcastle. Who is Mr. Hardcastle? An old-fashioned gentleman who owns an old house in the countryside. He is stuck, entrapped in his ways, and hates modern trends. He is protective of his daughter, Kate, permissive to his wife. He obeys his wife, Mrs. Hardcastle, of course, and disapproves of his unpolished stepson, Tony. He dislikes Tony's behavior unpolished, impolite one. He dislikes modern society and leads an isolated life. He wants to live alone. He doesn't wish to be thought of as an irrelevant. He doesn't want to be irrelevant in his topics, in his subjects, and so on. Mr. Hardcastle expects to be treated with respect by everyone he meets. So all he wants to be in a very respectful situation or status. He is shocked by the ill treatment, bad treatment he receives, he gets from his friend Sir Charles' son, Marlowe. When he sees that his wife's lies are preventing Tony, Constance, and Hastings from finding happiness, he reveals the truth. What does that mean? What kind of truth is? That they need to know to be freed to make their own ways in the world without her interference. In other words, Mr. Hardcastle knows very well that Mrs. Hardcastle, his wife, is interfering in other lives, just like Tony, Constance, Hastings. So he wants them to be free, to feel free without her interference. Let's move to Mrs. Hardcastle. Who is Mrs. Hardcastle? A vain, greedy, sentimental, manipulative woman. Vain, she has got nothing. She pretends to be a very good woman, but in reality, she isn't. She is greedy. She wants to have everything. Sentimental. She has some feelings and senses about others, but at the same time, she exploits everyone. Manipulative. She has lived all her life in the countryside, but she is obsessed with what is fashionable in the city. Although she lived in the countryside, but she wants to be in the fashionable city. She has spoiled her son Tony, spoiled him, as if she gave him everything, and hopes to control him for as long as possible. But at the same time, she wants to control him in every step, in every movement he is going to do. She is even going so far as to lie to him. She lies to him about his age. Why is that? In order to keep him under her thumb. Under her thumb means under her control. She is the guardian, she is the one who guards her niece, Constance, whose father and mother are dead. She hopes to oblige her to marry Tony, to keep Constance's fortune in the family. That's why she wants Tony and Constance to be married, in order to keep Constance's fortune under her control. Lumpkin. He is very clever, but uneducated and rustic. Rustic means he belongs to what? A countryside. Somehow he isn't an educated man. He is sick of his mother, Mrs. Hardcastle's domineering personality, controlling one, and eager for, wants to, longs to, or longs for the time when he will get money, inherit a substantial fortune, a very good wealth, and be able to act independently. So he cannot act or behave independently alone. He cannot free himself from his mother's control. He was never sent to school as a child because his mother considered him too sickly. He passes his time by drinking with lower-class men from the area, making up humorous songs and playing pranks on his family members. So from time to time, he sings some humorous songs, raises laughter, and he's playing some pranks, jokes on his family. He wants to marry a rustic woman from the area whose name Bet Bouncer, but his mother, of course, hopes to convince him to marry his cousin, Constance, her niece, which would keep Constance's fortune in the family again. This is the main aim. Even though Tony is less cultivated, educated, he has less education than the other characters, but he has great stores of natural intelligence. He was so clever, intelligent, although he isn't educated. Although his jokes are sometimes unpolished, impolite, he also uses pranks as an equalizer to prove those who think they are better than him wrong, as if his jokes were showing the real things, real characters. Thanks for watching and listening.